Hello, good afternoon, good evening. It's evening. Welcome to Junk Journal July day. Time is marching on. Let's move a few bits and pieces out of the way. Turn my little sign up the right way. What day are we on, Lindsay? We are on day 17, aged. Wow. So, very quick flick through because we've got a lot to do. Been in training all day, so I've been staring at a screen. I think Zoom training or training over Teams, it's much more difficult than when you're in person, because there's always the overwhelming temptation of your inbox, and then it's just generally drier. It takes a lot of your energy to keep engaged. So that's homemade. I think this is my favourite page so far, just because of this spraying that I am quite into. And that's yesterday's page, which I don't mind. So today, aged, I did promise some 200-year-old paper. So this is what we've got to work with. Move all my other little bits. It's not a very big desk, but this is the space I've got. So I took this, let me explain about the picture first. So this is snipped out from that. And then fussy cut this morning. And it's a book about English paintings, and it's from 1964. To Darling Sue and Simon, with love from Bob and Joan. So, coffee table books for Christmas. This is a massive book, really. Was bought in the charity shop that I spoke about, where I got the stamp book, actually on the same day. And then that's the first time I've cut into it. And then this, which is really the star of the show, I'm going to bring you into my serious box of wonders, even though I've got bits I've already shown you that should go in this box. Let's just get rid of these bits of paper, because they're going to keep annoying me. So in here I've got like ephemera that's authentic, and there's Second World War time newspapers, there's air mail envelopes, I've got prints, I've got old wallpaper that I found lining drawers of antique drawer dressers that I bought. I've got little hand-worked handkerchiefs. I've got all kinds of goodness in here that I kind of can't bear to break into, and I know I should do. So I'm hoping doing these videos with you guys will inspire me to do that, and perhaps even sort of make a way of sharing it. I don't know how. I'll think about that. I think it might be part of, like, if we hit milestones, I might try and do giveaways. So it could be a digital giveaway, or it could be a physical giveaway. But yeah, so we'll explore this box of wonders. That'll be a nice video to have a look through. I like all my original ephemera. So this is cut from these. I'm going to open it up again. It's going to be another big piece of paper, which is the one I've already started cutting into. I don't know. This says 9th day of August, and that's an 1825. 1825. These are, I think one might, they don't say last will and testament, although it mentions wills. I think that, you know, like in a Jane Austen film, or like Pride and Prejudice, and Mrs. Bennet's thinking, oh well, just I need to sort out marriage settlements, marriage papers. I think this is what this is. It's about transferring land and stuffs. So an indenture. So here we go. So this is between Peter Seal and Eliza Seed or Scared? I don't know. It's beautiful writing. And I have a tale of why I think it's alright to cut into this, because this is another, because it took me months. In fact, it might have taken me years, actually. This one I've not snipped into yet. So, I live in a town that has a big race course. And look, we've got dates of 1759. And then dates up to 1800. 1793. I'm gonna get sidetracked. And this is a £1 seal, £1 and 5 shillings seal, and there's a little snip of, like, I don't know if it's a coin, if it's a snip of a shilling coin. Basically, these are what solicitors held. These are solicitors' records. What's now on a database. So, like, when I bought my house, I needed to, in the UK, you don't just go through an estate agent, you need to go through a solicitor. So, like, the deeds for my house, I do have a physical piece of paper, but it's also all on the land registry, and it's all held by solicitors and on the cloud or whatever database. This is the equivalent. So apparently, solicitors all over the country that have been in business since the 1700s have cellars full of this stuff, and there's literally tens of thousands of this stuff. And it's not as rare as you might think. I did not know this. So we'll go back to Newmarket, because that's where I live, to the race course. I shouldn't necessarily say what town I live in. Oh, okay. And there's like an antiques fair. It's a massive antiques fair that's a few times a year. And we went to one when we first moved here, so about 2 years ago. And we were walking around. I've bought all kinds of stuff. I've got like an antique atlas that's like over 100 years old. I got some of those papers I've already used. I got lots and lots of stuff. I kind of gave myself a budget of £90. And we were getting towards the end of the day. I was really tired. It was really hot. And I was walking past these outside stalls looking for some shade to sit in, because I think my husband went off looking at something else. And I walked past this stall and I noticed these things on the floor. And they were just all bundled up on the floor. And I'm looking for paper because I wanted some really old stuff for junk journaling. And so, and when I mean on the floor, I mean like people had stood on them. They were discarded. So I picked them up and I talked to the lady with the stall, and she was like, "Oh, they're not worth anything. You can have them for £2.50 each." I was like, "What?" She said, "You can have them for £2.50 each." So £2.50 bought me 2 indenture papers that are to do with the same family. But it's on this amazing vellum type paper. I don't know if it's like proper vellum as in it's pigskin, or if it's like a type of paper, like a rag paper. I think it looks fibrous, so I do think it's like a rag paper. But you can see, and this is what's amazing about it, perhaps I might do it with a smaller piece rather than lifting this big bit up. And I cut into just one sheet of it. And if you think, like, it's probably like 80 centimetres squared, nearly, perhaps 80 by 70. I don't know, it might even be 100. I'll have to do a measurement of one day. Have I got a... No, I've not got one. But you can see the pencil lines that they drew on before they wrote the words. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. And this is the seal. It's £1, 5 shillings. Obviously, that was the price. And if you can see, it does look like something's either a bit of metal or something that's been stamped on. And then it's got this sort of stamp on the back. but I just can't. It's been waxed because I thought could I gently lift that, and it's been there for 200 years, so I'm not going to. So this is my 200-year-old paper that I do have quite a bit of it, and it's got like even the writing on the back. It needs sort of scanning. You can see how dirty, like, because it was a good job it was a dry day, because like people were standing on it. You can see like there's some sort of marking. But anyway, so this is my ultimate in aged, because it is old. So yeah, so these two things, yeah, 1820. It's amazing. I don't know how, because I've not got a scanner big enough for it. I was thinking at work we might have like an A3 scanner, which this green board is the size of A3. Well, you can see that's bigger than that. So I don't know. Perhaps I need to talk to my husband, because he used to be a photographer. So we might, you know, there might be some way we could photograph them, or, you know, just perhaps scan little bits at a time rather than the whole document. I don't know. I just know they're amazing, and it took me a long time before I would cut into them. But then I saw that Rachel at Roxy Creations, she had loads of like 1700s papers that she was, you know, merrily cutting into and making beautiful things out. And I thought, well, there's no difference. And I did a bit of research, and there are lots of them. There's lots of them on eBay. They're not quite as cheap as £2.50 each, I will be fair and say that, but you know, like, they're not as rare as they initially look. But they are my oldest pieces of paper. So, and I've snipped bits up and given bits away, and like, you know, to say, oh, this is a 200-year-old piece of paper. And I took the most boring piece. So this is the last bit, probably the most interesting bit of the most boring piece of the big bulky bits that you've seen there. So all that to say, now we need to work out a way of having, I definitely want this shilling bit in, and I kind of don't want to lose that. So I'm thinking of making some sort of tipping and just leaving the backs blank, so that a little bit of imagination on my part that this is like, you know, somebody would be able to, I could even go in at a later time and write something. So, but yeah, so you see, it's even difficult to rip. I can't really tear it. It's like that, yeah, that's where it might be like pigskin. It's like that. I know I've left my scissors in the other room. Did I bring my scissors over? Because those scissors are rubbish. Oh, I've got these scissors. It's like that, almost like that glass paper. So perhaps it is like, because I'm finding it really difficult to tear into. Let me know in the comments. Oh, I could tear it now. If you think that I'm like, this is sacrilege. I don't want. I will keep all the bits. They'll all be incredibly precious. It's not ripping in an even line. And it is just, so I've read it as much as I can. I mean, it's not in like Old English, that's basically like an old form of German Old English. It's not like that. It's kind of, it's in 1800s English, and it's legal language, even more than that, you know. So right, I don't mind bits sticking up at the top, but it's just like, even you can see that they use like a red pen to make these lines. You can see the lines, and you can see how they did the fancy writing. Like, I don't want to lose that fancy writing. Don't know how. I might have to rip this as well. So this is, I'm not really gonna, I might age up these white lines with one of my pens, one of my watercolour pens. I used to, I'll have to get up if I wanted to. You know, like do the whole vintage photo thing. But then when I started using like proper ephemera, and I realised what kind of colour old things are, it kind of lost its little sheen really for me. So I haven't done that, not in a while. You're not going to be right. So I'm trying to find the right colour now. So perhaps I should just do vintage photo. I don't know. I think you're it. Is it that? No, it's too dark. I'll work it out. You're too green. It's in there somewhere. I could even do it in gold. That might be nice actually, to do it in gold, make it a bit regal. So they're not really pointing at anything, and this is going to be a really simple page because I don't want anything to be taken away. I'm going to get rid of some of this red. Yeah. Oh. I don't mind that. So yeah, I can't believe it's got to be Wednesday tomorrow. When I'm having things like this training, and actually just having my office day does this as well, it makes the week go really fast. I mean, July is going fast enough as far as I'm concerned, but so we've got that. I'm doing a bit more of that. Oh, it's only paper. It might be 200-year-old paper, but it's only paper. I don't know. I might go around the outside of this in gold as well. Don't worry, I will keep all of these other little bits. Not doing too well, we're getting rid of this corner. Oh well, we're just going to have to live with that. But that's alright. What's this? Free. Oh, okay. I think what I might do is make this actually into a tuck spot. Thinking about tomorrow. And then I'll find something out of one of my free books. Or a free printable. I've not done much with printables. Do you know, I don't think I'm just going to do some highlighting with a gold pen. And I'll stick the label in there, redo it. How exciting. Let's make a fold. And it's it feels waxy. And it'll take some gluing down. I've got some pegs. I've got some paper clips. I've got some time off in a couple of weeks' time. Well, it's a week and a half now. And I think I'm going to do a reorganise part of that time. Could do other things obviously, but I just think I'm going to get myself a printer. We're not going on holiday this year, and I did get some tax back. Well, we might go on holiday later on in the year. We don't know. We were talking about that last night. I don't know. city break or something. So let's put the paper clips on. Just to hold it in place. So when I even think about this now, that I got this for £2.50. There was actually, because I bought some material as well, it's in that box, that, you know, it was old, and this woman said to me, what are you going to do with that? So I tried to explain to her what it is that I could do, and she was really intrigued by it. And I wonder now if I would have got the same deal if people, because people become more aware of stuff and then they charge more money, which is fair enough, really. I mean, like, free market and all of that stuff. Did I put those paper clips back? Yes, I did. Yeah, because she was certainly asking me questions like, where'd you get and what are you going to do with it? And so, like, the material, I was like, well, I don't know really what I'm going to do with it. I've done so many things with it. I just keep snipping little bits of it off. Yeah. That is gluing on. Okay, so that's going to be able to lift and turn over. We will make another sort of fold, don't we? Let's just wait for this to go off. Let's have a think. So, like, when we do put this on, we can go around it with gold. We might go around that with gold, and I might just put little odd sparkles, because I saw this and it kind of reminded me, it's a bit too young to be this, but it sort of reminded me of those illuminated texts, and so did this, which is much older than these pieces of paper. But it kind of just has that little bit of a feel. Let's go around this outside in the gold. So yeah, we're not going to go away, so I'm just going to spend some time doing some projects around the house. We might meet up with some friends, do some bits and pieces that way. Go. I think we might even stick, or loosely stick it down. It is amazing that like the pencil marks. I know there's like ink marks as well, but it's just like the pencil marks is the working out of it, isn't it? It's like the mundane bit of it. It's not the it's not the sexy bit. A little bit of that on display. So what's the oldest bits of you found? I mean, I think any older than this. Well, I don't know, like I said, Rachel at Roxy Creations regularly finds like stuff from the 1700s. I think there's more stuff in Italy than what there is in the UK. Put it a little bit of a tilt, I think. It reminds me, if I showed you in last year's Junk Journal July, and that video's on my channel, like a little tour of that. And the printables I used in that, I used some Graphics Fairy, because that's always the place to go for freebies. Excuse me, I have some water. And I used some Edith Holden, a bit from an Edith Holden book. And then I used printouts of the coronation invitation that you can, I think you probably still can get it from the Royal Family website. It was like the press release printout, and I used it in the job that I had then, which was like I was sort of doing activities for older people in a nursing home. It was my pandemic job that was only supposed to last as long as the pandemic. Well, the pandemic lasted a long time, and then I stayed there. I probably stayed there a bit too long, really, if you know, like in hindsight. But I fell in love with them, so I stayed. I'm going to do little dots, because like that in the gold. And these invitations, I meander, so you have to stick with it, ladies and gents. These invitations were done like illuminated texts, like old-fashioned writing and stuff, and they just were beautiful. And so I printed them off. I didn't even think about junk journaling when I was printing them off. I just thought the oldies would love to look at them, and they did, but they didn't necessarily want to keep them. Some of them did. Some of them really wanted to keep them. And, you know, I've got them on the walls, and, you know, still had them on the walls when I left later that year. Let's just do some highlighting. But not everybody, you know, they were like, oh no, I've seen it now. And it was quite a big home, so I just went round at the end of the day. Well, it was after a few days actually, and I just went and picked them up, and I kept them in my office for a bit, thinking I'd use them, and we never really did. There was never really, for the little bit, there were some bigger bits that I used in other projects with them, but the little bits, and so I just thought, oh well, I'll take them home and I'll junk journal with them. And then they became part of that Junk Journal July. But this dotting and just like little tiny gold accents to try and make it look like it's something that's a lot older than it's 200 years. So I'm aging up a 200-year-old paper to look like, or reminiscent of, an illuminated text. That's my theory anyway. I don't know if I'm managing it. just lots of little dotties. It's going to be a bit of a departure, I think. It's not overly worked. It's not going to be too elaborate. It's hardly a junk journal, really. I don't know, what do you think? I'll bring it up because you might not be able to see on the camera what I'm doing. Then I'm going to go and have a bath. There were some interesting dots inside some of the circles that obviously mean something, so I'm just going to put some dots in whatever circles I can see in the writing. What do I think? It doesn't look real, does it? I mean, it is real. Look at that. Do I dare put some gold on that blue bit? I'm going to put some around the cuffs. Let's do some, I've got to be brave now and add another colour in. I'm sorry if this is boring. I'm finding it a bit unnerving. Or should I put more blue in, just keep with the blue and gold? But like, I've not got a dark blue. What blues have I got? I've got this blue. Well, that might work. It's a little bit lighter. So now, just the merest little diddy dots done in bigger triangles. I wonder what the person who beautifully wrote this thinks about, like, it being made into a junk journal. I don't know. So I guess you can age things in different ways. You know, like I said, I'm making this old 200-year-old paper reminiscent of like an illuminated text, which is like all these little blobby bits of paint and the gold. I mean, I don't know if that's what it's reminiscent to me. I have no idea what it is for other people. You'll have to let me know. To put another colour on, or do you think that's enough? I'm wondering if I actually glue a bit of that onto that page. Disconcertingly, those things don't click. So I've either got that, or I'm going to have to use that for something. You know, just to like be part of the... Yeah, I think I will, you know. It does not like to be ripped. If anybody knows about 200-year-old paper and what kind of paper this is, like, is it a vellum? Comment. Don't shout at me. I worry about, like, you know, like, is it controversial? But then, like I said, I see Rachel at Roxy Creations with older bits of paper. Perhaps she gets people saying it's not, you know, you shouldn't do it. I think it's because I feel a little bit guilty. But like, literally, wouldn't be a museum would be interested in it. They're that ubiquitous. I think everything gets digitised before, you know, like they must like scan them all in some way. Well, how do they scan these massive pieces of paper? They must take a photograph. I don't know. There's some way of working it. Oh yeah, I like that. See, if I was brave, I would like hand draw some leaves and stuff. But I'm not brave, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to do... This is something that is already out of my comfort zone. Which is a good thing to do, things out of your comfort zone. Where's my other gold pen? It is. Oh, the above. Okay, I thought one had not started yet. I think I prefer that one for making dots. There mix them in a more obvious way. I don't know if this has been really quick or a long time. It's been one of those funny ones. Oh, what do we think, guys? It's very different from other stuff. Simple. So I don't know if you can see, that's the £1.5. I was wondering if I should dry brush it with a bit of gold. I'll think about that. And our beautiful angel ladies. And that's what you can do with those bigger pieces of art, like prints of art. Just take a little bit out of it at a time. Pencil lines and all. So, do I need to put the label on? I think, can't see it, can I? I'll think about that because I don't want to put anything else on there. I might have to stick it here somewhere. To be glued and then folded over. Don't want it to be that small. Everything is so very different. Aged. And I can even print some more of this off. It's not against my rules to print more off. I wanted a better sheet. I'm going to have a look in here. This is my printing on. Got two bit. Oh, imagine that green. The blue though, that blue. Just stamps. It's not going to be on my main page though. Oh no. stick that out? Do we want to stick that out so that we kind of know that that's there? Does that look daft? It does a bit. We won't do that. We will just stick it here though. We'll stick it like that. Not that you would have been able to see that, I've just realised. You're going to stick it like that. See, will it close? It should do. It should open. So there we are, lovelies. Chunk Journal July, day 17, aged, and I feel it. There it is again. Thank you for spending this evening with me. Let's see, what time is it? How long have I been? Oh, I've not been too long. That's alright. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do all those lovely YouTubey things, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, share. Ooh, that's a lot of things. Pick one. Or more. To help my little YouTube channel grow. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Thank you very much. I will be here tomorrow for free. I'll have my thinking cap on. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye.